Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, glory, and the highest honor to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham, Chakadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone for teaching this truth, and salutations to the sincere Akiam and the few sisters and all the listeners that are tuning in worldwide. The name of this video will be the United States of Babylon. Okay, United States of Babylon. It is something that came to my mind, when mixing up the prophetic scriptures concerning Babylon and the reality that is actually talking about the United States of America. So in my mind, I think it happened like randomly, or like not randomly, because nothing is coincidence, but it just came to my mind all of a sudden, just United States of Babylon. And I don't know if it's a term that any of you Akiam have used before, even the elders and apostles, quite possibly, but it's something that just came to my mind, and actually a couple of months back, but now the Spirit making me record a video concerning that subject. So one of the key matters concerning prophecies in the scriptures is Babylon. The name Babylon just comes many different scriptures. Revelation 18, here in Jeremiah 49, 50, 51. I believe also in the book of Isaiah. So it is something that's coming up in diverse places and is repetitive. And it's not globally and widely known that it's actually talking about the United States of America, because how you can discern it is you have people who are not well aware at all of the scriptures stating that it's talking about the ancient Babylon. So one way you can debunk that statement is here in Jeremiah chapter 50 verse 9 to the point is at the 13th verse. I will begin from the 9th verse, and I will just read through it and then speak on it. Jeremiah chapter 50 verse 9. For lo, I will raise and cause to come up against Babylon an assembly of great nations from the north country, and they shall set themselves in array against her. From thence she shall be taken, their arrows shall be as of a mighty expert man, none shall return in vain. These arrows are not talking about what you know as a plain simple arrow today. It's talking about ICBM nuclear missiles. This is some vocabulary that, for example, the prophet Jeremiah or the prophet Isaiah or any of the prophets didn't have in their use. There is no term in the Paleo Hebrew which they spoke that you could say ICBM nuclear missile nukes. It doesn't go that way. So the Bible is written in code. The word is given to the Israelites, to the seed of Jacob. So it's talking about the upcoming destruction of United States of Babylon with the nuclear missiles. And notice how it says an assembly of great nations from the north country. So it's talking about Russia. It's talking about also all of the European Union countries, all of the NATO countries that today are at league with Babylon, the United States of Babylon, but are actually going to, more and more be wrathful against the daughter of Babylon. And also about China. And you have Iran, all kinds of nations. That's why it says an assembly of great nations. And Chaldea shall be a spoil, all that spoil her shall be satisfied. saith the Lord. Again, referring to the United States of Babylon. And here is the reason why. Verse 11. Because ye were glad, because ye rejoiced, O ye destroyers of mine heritage. Who are Most High Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai's heritage as Israelites? We have been fully destroyed from the northern kingdom to the southern kingdom, from the southern kingdom to the northern kingdom, all in the soil of the United States of Babylon. First you had the Gadites, the Reubenites, the Seminole and Native American Indians, and you also had rest of the northern kingdom from the Caribbeans that were enslaved, and then they brought the southern kingdom with ships to serve in slavery in the soil of United States of Babylon. And after, when they extended in the 20th century, 100 years back, they were still going back colonizing these Israelite countries, West Africa, Central Africa, and taking them again into colonization and building today's society with the riches of the profits thereof. So, ye destroyers of mine heritage, the book of Psalms, chapter 83 goes right into it. Our enemies, starting with the nation of ESAU, EDOM, so-called Caucasians, swine-fleshed, red-skinned cave beasts. Their plan was to make the name of Israel to be no more in remembrance. What does that mean? Does that mean that today you would not remember the word Israel? No. It means that you don't know who are the real Israelites. You don't know the meaning of Israel. Today you think about those Israeli Jews out there in the land of Israel who are doing all kinds of abominations. You have Pink City, you have these fucking transgender parades, all of that jazz, which is a clear indicator they are not the people of the Lord, among thousands of other examples. So, destroying the Most High's heritage is talking about you don't know. The average people today doesn't know that the so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native American, Seminole Indians are the real Israelites, the real descendants of Abraham, Isaac and Jacob. That's what that means. Because ye are grown fat as the heifer at grass and below as bulls. Mainly in the 50s, a little bit in the 60s, then starting to fall in the 70s, 80s. The American dream has been alive. They had the skyscrapers, those tall buildings, offices, skyscrapers, I believe it is, and Federal Reserve. It was fake, printed money out of thin air, but it gives you an illusion that you are so-called doing well. You have these casinos, you have these different luxus areas in, for example, in Phoenix. No, Slovakia, in Arizona. I forget the name of that area. But you have these gated communities, and different kind of industries which America used to produce. Ford. You had Ford, and different kind of factories, industrial factories, producing. But today America is only consuming. So their downfall is already happened. Now it's just the end of their downfall, which is the nuclear missiles and the arrival of Yahweh Shai and the angels. Verse 12, your mother shall be sore confounded, she that bare you shall be ashamed. Behold, the hindermost of the nations shall be a wilderness, a dry land and a desert. So United States of Babylon shall be, even in the kingdom, wilderness, dry land and a desert. It's spoken, I believe, in the book of Revelation chapter 11, that you have all these creeping things and wild birds, scavenger birds, desert creatures living in the future America. And the point is here in the verse 13 that debunks the statement, if someone wants to say that Babylon in these prophetic scriptures is referring to the ancient Babylon, which is in today Iraq, out there in the Middle East. Let me read the verse 13. Because of the wrath of the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahushai, it shall not be inhabited, but it shall be wholly desolate. Everyone that goeth by Babylon shall be astonished and hiss at her plagues. So the ancient Babylon, which today is in Iraq, it is still habited. You know, it is not destroyed. It is not a complete wilderness. You know, everyone that goes there is not astonished and is not hissing at her plagues. You know, it's not wholly desolate. It is not in. It is inhabited. Okay, it is inhabited. So the modern day Iraq, a area of the modern day Iraq, which was the ancient Babylon, is even inhabited today. So this scripture talking about when the destruction of the Babylon happens, it will not be inhabited. So it cannot be the ancient Babylon that is talking about right here. Okay, that's debunking that. And when you go to the next chapter in the book of Jeremiah, chapter 51 verse 7, it debunks all other kinds of concepts and locations and cities and places that these different people are trying to put as being the Babylon, mystery city Babylon, but it's the United States of Babylon. Okay, so I know there's even some Israelites who are claiming that it's the Vatican. There is this wickedness of Jehovah's witnesses, Jehovah's wickednesses, who are claiming that Babylon is every single one who is not a witness of a Jehovah's witness, which that's just some other bullshit, man. I think that's the worst one. You know, even Vatican is is a little better than the version of the Jehovah's wickedness or the Jehovah's Witness. And you just have to, with Jehovah's Witness, a little out of topic, I'm just say it real quick. If you Google the founder or the beginner, the creator of the religion Jehovah's Witness is an Edomite, Charles Taze Russell, which is a straight up Freemason. You know, there's even a lot of different stories and articles of him being a Freemason, and it's an Edomite. In the book of Sirach, chapter 12, verse 10, it says, "Never trust thine enemy. Edomites are our enemies." So why would you trust that stupid religion, saying that Babylon is everybody else but those who are in the so-called faith of Jehovah's Witness? So it's not the Vatican City, it's not New York either, it's not anybody who is not part of Jehovah's Witness, or whatever else places people think Babylon the Great to be, you know. And Babylon means confusion. Babal, it means confusion. Where do you see most of the confusion? Is in the United States of Babylon. You know, in a sense of it being a great melting pot. You know, you have areas in the United States where you can see all kinds of different nations, you know, tied up together, and you have you know, all kinds of confusion. You have that transgenderism being pushed. You have all kinds of different philosophies, ways of thinking that are being pushed. You know, equality, feminism. You know, you have what else? All of these different religions. You know, Islam, Buddha, Hindu. It's a confusion. It's downright confusion. You have sodomy being pushed. You have so many different distractions and things going on in America, man. is clearly pointing, the Babylon is pointing to United States. And whenever there is an individual that understands that, okay, in the prophetic scriptures, Babylon is actually talking about the United States, you should be very ready, very prepared, because you are now knowing that the place of the United States will be destroyed with nuclear missiles. You know, if you are living out there, that should be a warning for you. If you are not living out there, that should still be a warning to you, because all of the earth will be judged. So let me just read this one last scripture, then I'm gonna wrap this video up. Jeremiah chapter 51 verse 7. Babylon, United States of Babylon, has been a golden cup in the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai's hand, that made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of her wine, therefore the nations are mad. So, come on, man. The Vatican City has not been a golden cup that has made all of the earth drunken in her philosophies. You know, America is it's speaking in the book of Revelation that because of the nations have been made rich by United States of Babylon. The nations have not been made rich by Vatican City. The nations have not been, you know, confounded and well, not confounded, but seduced to the philosophies of the Vatican City. As to that concept, you know, meaning that you have some ways of fashion, you know, these different athletes, how they talk, you know, the way, you know, how you are, the swag, how it is in the States, you know, the genres. That is what is being copied all around the world. You know, you have the Netflix series, you have HBO, and you have people even out here in Finland acting like they would be living in America, you know, trying to hustle, trying to be in the west side, south side, you know, cribs and bloods, all that bullshit, man. So it's all out of United States. That's the, you know, it has been the cool thing to be, you know. Vatican City doesn't have that kind of influence, or whatever else you would like Babylon to be. It's already said in the scriptures that it's like spiritually called Sodom and Egypt. What does Egypt mean? Place of bondage. Has America been a place of bondage for the so-called Negroes, Latinos and Native American Indians, meaning a place of slavery? Hell yes. You know, is it spiritually Sodom? Of course, you have sodomites everywhere, and I've heard the apostles even say that, you know, if you are so-called male going to a prison system, and then you say, nah, I want to be a female, give me a sex transfer, I want to go to the females prison, and they will do it for free. And you have even in sports, you know, in these different fighting sports, kickboxing and all that, you have males that have changed their whole fucking packages and everything and are now fighting as females. How are you saying that it's not sodomy? How are you saying that it's not confusion, which Babylon means confusion? The city of confusion, great confusion. So United States of Babylon will be destroyed with thermonuclear missiles, and everybody that is in the know of that, and I'm talking to myself first, has to be prepared for a lot of changes in the world, because let's say if anything else, if nothing else of the prophecies would happen concerning the kingdom, but just that United States of Babylon will be destroyed with nuclear missiles. Let's say this world right now, with no changes, just a random scenario I'm making up. Today's world, but you totally wipe off the United States of Babylon. Of course, you save the elect out of there, because we don't even want to imagine them getting eliminated, you know, put to death. So they would be locating to other countries. But the United States of Babylon, with the 2/3 and the heathen nations, would be destroyed, and the soil of United States, even the world as it is right now today, it would be undergoing a great shift. You know, it would change up a lot of different things. of course this world would still stay wicked, because the book of Job, chapter 9 verse 24, the earth is in the hands of the wicked. So it wouldn't change the theme of this world being wicked, but it would change a lot of different factors. You know, they would have to build another vortex, another energy, another zone like Babylon. That would take years. And this point is just to make to emphasize and highlight the influence of United States of Babylon on the whole world, and why it has to be destroyed to restore the energy of this world to a more ancient and more free, well-flowing and how can you even say it, more beautifully refreshed energy based. That's why you have to be destroyed, O virgin daughter of Babylon. Talking about the United States of America, in this video referred as United States of Babylon. Shalom.